Today we're going to be checking out Monaco, which is the editor that Microsoft created, and it's kind of similar to VS Code, but it also works in the browser. And basically, if you look at their README over here, Monaco Editor comes from VS Code. So basically, we're going to be checking this out and seeing if it'll work for our project. Initially, I was like, I'm not going to use this because I didn't really want to add an editor to CodePonder, as in I didn't want people to be able to edit your code. But we got a great YouTube comment on yesterday's video, and they mentioned there's a read-only mode in Monaco. And that's pretty much perfect for our situation, because I don't want to allow the user to edit the file, but I would like to display it with syntax highlighting, line numbers, and be able to manipulate stuff, like for example add comments in line maybe, or do some more things. And like here we can see there's a map on the side of the code, and in general this is just a really nice editor to be able to access things. So we're going to give Monaco a try today, and it's basically just going to be an exploration of it and see how viable it would be to do instead of trying to do what we're currently using, which is Prism. So instead of using that to syntax highlight rendering like an editor in read-only mode, and give that a try. For Monaco in the future, you always have an easy way to add power to edit if you change your mind. That's exactly what I was thinking too. So if there is a point where I want to allow people to edit, it's going to be a super easy transition, just letting them use Monaco after that. So that's going to be nice. So instead of this highlighting that we have here, and and it's not working. Alright, so I'm trying to right click so I can hard refresh, but it's not letting me. There we go, now it's rendering. And Monaco has TS. Monaco has a ton of languages, I think. So that's really nice. And also I think there's a little bit of a problem with our Prism. Like, I load the page, then I load this, it's not coming up. So I'm gonna have to figure out what that problem is anyway. So instead of doing that, we're gonna try adding Monaco today. So this is really gonna be an alternative to this. Oh, we have a little error here. I'm not gonna worry about this right now. We'll come back to it. It's going to be an alternative to this code file that we created. So I'm going to create a new file here, which I'm going to call Monaco file, Monaco code file. And here's where we're going to do Monaco stuff. Alright, so we're passing a whole bunch of stuff that this doesn't care about, but we may need it in the future, so I'm going to go ahead and just steal the props from this file. Alright, so now we're going to try rendering the Monaco editor here. You should branch. Actually, I was going to do that. Thank you for reminding me. Alright, so now we're on a new branch. To access hard reload in Chrome, you have to open up inspect first. Oh, I was wondering about that. Okay, that's what I need to do. Alright, so their getting started or documentation is right here. And basically they tell you, here's some examples of how to get this to work. And I think we want the ESM version. Yeah, because we're using Webpack. So we're going to try to go ahead and get this started. So option 1, we can use the Monaco Editor Loader plugin. And by the way, I haven't looked at any of this stuff before, so we're going to be figuring this out together using plain Webpack. Okay, so those are our two options. So first thing I want to see is if there's anything for Next.js out there. Okay, so Next has a whole bunch of examples in their repo. So I actually want to see if they have something. All right, let's see if anyone ever made. Nope, doesn't look like they've made a Monaco one yet. So we're just going to see if the community has made one yet. Okay, so he made his own Monaco editor. No, he's just using this one that Tim made. Okay. I'm going to put this on hold. I want to see if I can get the one that uses the official Monaco. Huh, this is Expo. We have direct access to the Webpack config, so we can get it working ourselves if we need to. I don't see anything really. So let's base it off of these two examples. And let's try to see what this React Monaco is. All right, this is very easy to get started with. So let's try this plugin or this package. And it has quite a bit of, and we're doing this in the web package. This has a decent number of stars, so it looks like a decent amount of people are using it. See if it has any support. 2 days ago, that's pretty good. Those are the things I kind of check. I know stars isn't a great indicator, but like you can see if people are still supporting it. So there's one other thing we need to download, this. All right, so in our next config down here, we have access to this config, and I'm just going to log it. I think it should have plugins in it, but I actually don't know what the structure of it is. So when I start this up, I think it should call this. All right, it's Control C. All right, so yeah, it has a plugins on here. So we're just gonna try adding a plugin on there. See how that goes. All right, so it looks like we're choosing the language we want. 8,000 people downloaded on NPM this week. So many people are trying it. Yeah, looks like it. Alright, so default value, if we don't include the languages, is it installs all of them. We can also include just a subset of features. I'm just not going to include any, and you just use the default for everything. See what those values are. So editor did mount. I think I see this occasionally where people do : : I believe that's for binding the function. Whoops. So Prettier did not like that. So on change, they're just logging it. I'm cool with doing that too. See what it actually gives you. Now I wonder if there are TypeScript definitions for this, because that would be fantastic. Test/TypeScript. Cool, I have faith. Yeah, it's a string. So here's the code, which we're going to get from the props. And we can actually use useState here. Default value is going to be the initial value of the code. And we would call this code on change function if we wanted to actually allow editing. Editor did mount. I don't think we care. They call focus. We don't care about that. All right, let's see if this rendered correctly. All right, so we're bundling. Okay, so are we just missing a polyfill? Unexpected token. So one thing I'm wondering is we pushed on the plugins at the very end. I'm wondering if I need to add it to the beginning. So I'm going to unshift, which adds it to the beginning of the plugins. If this doesn't change anything, we can start Googling the error and see what the internet tells us. Now, I wonder if we're gonna have the same problem where we actually don't know the language and it's gonna have to be based on like the file extension. See, did I restart this? Yeah, it's bundling. So I noticed the bundle time's been like a little bit longer. I wonder if it's because it's bundling the languages and it's a little bit slower. Alright, so it's telling me unexpected error, unexpected token, which makes me think it's not like getting compiled. Alright, this guy has the exact problem we have. No, he's getting a different problem with dot dot dot. Monaco Editor Webpack plugin. I think we're using that one. Yep, we are. So this is if we don't use the plugin. We're going to use the plugin. Alright, so they're using a custom server with static middleware for Monaco Editor. I wonder if we want to do the same thing. So just this, for the sake of trying to set this up, I'm kind of considering giving this a try. I've never seen this syntax before, or this method of doing things. They're dynamically importing something, not using server-side rendering. Okay, so this hasn't been updated in a year, so this is guaranteed to have an old version of Monaco. So I don't know if I want to try setting it up like this. I feel like we're just going to have a problem with it. So they're setting it up on the server. That's quite different than what we are. Let's see if anyone else is having this problem. So we're currently using the ESM build. So maybe we should use the AMD build. I'm actually not too knowledgeable on the two different versions and what they mean and how the packaging works. We are using Webpack though, so I do think we want to do the ESM version because this looks like it's pretty different. Looks like they load the editor using a script tag, which we're not going to be doing. Alright, let's see if anyone else has set up Next.js in Monaco. This should be a pretty common thing to do. We're going to page 2 of Google. This is not a good sign. I was considering for a second trying to set up it using the plain Webpack, but this looks like it's so much more effort to set this up. Anything past 50% of the page 1 is not a good sign. Yeah, that's very true. The other thing we can try is, just for a second, is not using the React version. So it could be, for some reason, the React Monaco editor is having a problem with what we did. I don't expect this to do anything. I don't think we have anything called container. See if that does anything. See, look how long this takes to build now. So we didn't specify a language in the plugin. That's something I could try. I don't know if that would make a difference. Oh, whoops. Huh. So if I hit space, kind of like shifts it around. All right. I think I broke my tmux on this window. So I was using tmux to run stuff, and now it's all gone. I think I may have crashed it. Alright, I mean, I can just create a new tmux session. I think today's going to be a debugging day. Alright, we just get a new error. I want to try specifying a language. I don't think this will fix it for us either. What is the extension that shows the preview of directories in your terminal? That is default fish shell. So I just opened up this file. So this is a JavaScript file. And what I'm guessing is like Babel is not compiling it. And so it's not going to understand the import at the top. So my goal is to figure out how I can get it to get compiled, I believe. So I'm going to log the config that Next.js is using, because I think we just need to alter that. Could be helpful to read through some of the errors people are having with the React Monaco Editor. I think that's what I want to try next. All right, this guy on November 8th looks like he did what we wanted to do. That's pretty cool. Perfect. All right, so now we have a recent example that is using Next that we can base it off of. This is exactly what we wanted. And they're using TypeScript. Straight perfect. Let's see what he talks about here. So I'm not sure why he just specifies the word plugins there. He doesn't actually do anything with it, and then he just pushes it on. So we're doing plugin.push. So the other thing we're doing is we're doing this, we have with TypeScript. All right, so he's doing with Sass, which we don't care about. He's doing with CSS, then with TypeScript. So I think we should just do that. I think the order of that would matter. And I'm gonna ignore what we did up here. All right, so let's start this up. Let's see what the other files he links to. Statically serving files with Express. Let's give this guy an interesting. I wonder why he did this. That's kind of weird syntax. So I'm guessing what the purpose of this is to load stuff. Later. Really? We get the same unexpected token. Alright, so that means we have to look through his source code now. Curious what this package does. Alright, looks like something he wrote. Yeah, I think it has something to do with Babel, but we're just using the default Babel. Or like Babel's already being used by Next, and we didn't make any changes to it really. We can see if this guy's doing anything. Next/Babel. Let's see what our Babel RC looks like. So we're using Next Babel and style components. Yeah, he's doing exactly that. The only difference is he's setting some things in each environment. So before I get too far, I kind of just want to clone this and see if it works. So I don't know what other files would affect it besides the next config. Let's try this. Wow, so that's what it was all along. I'm guessing what it was trying to do was like server-side render the thing, the Monaco editor, and like trying to server-side render that's not gonna work out for us apparently. All right, so what, that took 40-ish minutes. But we see our editor here, so that's awesome. The other thing that I want to do to this is, I don't see why this isn't const. I'm not sure why it's any. We can definitely call this like Monaco editor. Now I see why he wrapped his own component, I think. I basically just want to set it up now so that I get my own type. I just want type safety instead of having that be any. Monaco editor props. I wonder if I can do something like React component. I forget what it is. So I like this cheat sheet whenever I'm doing React and TypeScript stuff. This is kind of what I wanted to see. React Node is what I should be using. I feel like in my examples I use JSX element, so I should probably stop doing that and start using React Node. Not really seeing what I want. There we go. I think I just need to say type of. Yeah, now we're going to get type safety on it. Nice. Okay, so we got this. It lets me delete stuff. Oh, so I just right clicked That's pretty cool. Let's see if I right click out here. We got a whole bunch of warnings from Monaco. That's fun. Alright, so every time I type, it looks like it's got that. So let's go ahead and set this into read only mode, which I bet we passed through the options. So I'm not going to worry about passing in an on change now. So this is me hitting backspace, doesn't let me. Still lets me select text, which is cool. I want to see how many warnings come up when I load this. So uncaught syntax error, not sure what we can do about that. Unexpected usage, not sure what I can do about that. Could not create a web worker. Feel like that's probably bad. I think we'll give more heed to those warnings later. Let's see what this looks like. What is this syntax? So let's compare this to what happens when I open up the README here. So I have a blue. This has an interesting green. I mean, I suppose it could just be what the syntax highlighting is supposed to be. Oh, you know what? We set the language. Yeah, we can probably change the theme, and I also set the language. So everything was JavaScript. Yeah, exactly. So let's see if we can have Monaco. Yes. So can we use this Monaco languages then to figure out how this... Is this something that we load? This MPL is bundled and distributed with the Monaco Editor. There must be some option that we pass in. Let's see if there's anything on here. No. Alright, let's just see what the options that we can pass in on this are. Accept suggestion. Because really what I want to do is just pass in the file name. Well, it's cool that we have all these options that we can do. Hey Ben, just jumped in the stream. Hope you're well. I'm doing well now. We got Monaco working. I was worried that was going to take a while. Didn't see anything, just scrolling through. Let's just continue our Google search. I think we're going to hit the answer. Is Monaco a general editor? So what Monaco is you'll recognize it. It looks very similar to Visual Studio Code. It's like an editor you can just use in the browser. So what I'm trying to figure out now is how I can pick the file language based off of the file extension. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Swing editor. I feel like there's something maybe about it in the React one, React Monaco Editor. The diff editor could allow some options, which could be fun. I think maybe I say monaco.languages and see if there's something we can do there. I don't see it. I think I haven't installed it. Alright, looks like we had it installed, or it either just got installed. Alright, languages. I don't think this gives us anything useful. Could you write a custom function and take the extension and use a map to get the language, then add it as a prop? Yes, and we wrote that with Prism, and we were using that to highlight code instead. But it looks like Monaco already has it. It at least already has the data. Because there's this Monaco languages package for Microsoft, and it already maps all the file extensions to what the language is. So I need to somehow be able to have Monaco do this for me, or have me be able to access it. Language definitions. Maybe that one. Just curious what we have access to .editor. Maybe get languages. See what that would provide us with. We have really slowed down Next.js now. Just making sure it didn't crash. Took 10 seconds there. It looks to me like it's still loading. Over here it looks like it's done loading. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the restart. Error while trying to update. We'll let it rebundle. Let's do some more searching while we're waiting for that. Let's see. It's kind of hard to read in Twitch chat, but I don't think I see anything that. Okay, I see what they're taking the language as a prop. Alright, we just like straight crashed this. I wonder if it's this me logging this is crashing it. I'll let this finish building. See if this does anything. It doesn't. I think I totally broke it when I added this. It's kind of funny. Code Sandbox is open source. Check their code. I think they use Monaco. That's a good idea. Let's give that a try. So yeah, accessing that Monaco editor like that, we crash it. I think what we need to do is we need to do this dynamic import if we want to access this Monaco object there too. So I'm going to try this real quick. So we actually need to import Monaco up there like that, I think. And then I'm going to say, oops, my Monaco, and then dynamically import it. And then we can add the type here. Nope, doesn't like that. Oh, this is a namespace. All right, let's just say it's anything for now to see if this even does what we want it to. Okay, that was a lot faster. I was gonna say, I can't live with how slow this is to just reload. All right, looks like we crashed it again. All right, so let's see if we can figure out where they use Monaco. So I'm gonna just start and look at their package.json and see if they have the Monaco package imported. And it looks like they're using a monorepo, so let's go inside of it. Instead of trying to just do it ourselves, we can just try this search and see how that goes. Standalone packages, the Monaco editor. I mean, they're definitely using Monaco. This looks interesting to me. So they keep it in the context. Seems like a good idea. So we need to figure out where they actually initiate or call Monaco to create it. Now we have 53 pages to look through. Let's see if we can find where they're calling create, because that's where they pass in the language, and then maybe we can see where that language is coming from. So they call create a ton. Looks like they have some tests. That may be what it's for. This looks kind of promising. Except it doesn't look like they pass anything in. All right, let's see if this finished building. Could not get languages of undefined. All right, let's just not worry about that. So this code base is so big, I wonder what the best way to navigate it, to figure out where they're finding the language. So we're currently in the app package. See what else they have. Yeah, I feel like app's gonna have what we want. The other ones didn't look like they do. Can also try searching language maybe. We don't care about this standalone package stuff. So we're just gonna hit a ton of the standalone package stuff. Well, what do you mean by editor API open? I wonder if there's a way to do a GitHub search where I can ignore this folder. Probably is. Let's go to 46. Oh, that just has a ton of standalone packages. Oh, search it on editor API. Clone it and do it locally. I like that actually. Let's see what editor API is real quick. I've never heard of this. Like I should search for editor API, or editor API is a thing. Let's spell it exactly like you did. Editor API. Ooh. Okay, let's look at these two files. Is he using Flow? Yeah, this is a JS file. Huh. It looks like they're using Flow. And then they have everything set to any. Okay, so they're creating an editor there. There's nothing to do with languages in this particular file. See if in this particular file. Now this file has some languages. This could be what we're looking for. So far, this all looks like compile time setting things up, not actually picking a language. Yeah, it looks like they're just setting settings for this. For how the languages work. Thought maybe he was passing in the settings. Doesn't look like it. I wonder what happens if I don't specify a language. Pretty much looks the same. It actually loaded pretty fast. This loads faster than Prism. I like that. Yeah, it definitely looks funky though. Alright, I don't know if we're gonna get anywhere searching this. Let's see if they have an example maybe. You could always use the solution that we used yesterday and use that one. Maybe we should just use that for now. This guy always assumes JavaScript. I'm going to star this guy's repo if I ever want to come back to it. All right, let's do that for now. So let's see what language it's picking up here, because that was all blank. All right, so it looks like we don't have TSX, so let's add that. So TSX should be TypeScript. And actually, I wonder if they call it TypeScript React. TypeScript React, one word. See if that works better. This is an interesting kind of little editor we can try some different examples with. So, oh yeah, I was trying to remember what I wanted to do. I think I want to go to Monaco real quick and see if they have a difference between TypeScript and TypeScript React, because here they have all the languages to pick from. Doesn't look like they differentiate. Not highlighting it well. What? This is 2016 though. Just scroll down to the bottom. see if there's one. Just kind of wanted to look through this article and see what stuff it talked about. None of it looked like anything I care about. So this is the list of all languages, so we can just click on this and see. Where was I before that I had access to all the register stuff? So it doesn't have TypeScript there. I don't know where it was. I'm just going to do a search. Alright, this looks like the issue that we should just need to read. Still open, which isn't a good sign. Which was the one where someone wrote a bunch? Here we go, let's read this. The other thing is maybe we need to set up that static stuff so it gets loaded. So it looks like I have to do that. Now the question is, how do I actually get that to work? Monaco.languages.typescript. Do I ever use Python and for what? I use Python for cleaning data, like the pandas suite and the data science tools. So if I ever want to do machine learning stuff, I'll do it in Python too. Okay, so we'll see how we can actually access our Monaco. I was thinking calling on editor load is what I think it was called. Yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. Monaco will mount and then set this. A shame you can't do an array of languages. That would be kind of interesting, being able to just pass it in there. This is kind of interesting. They're passing in a file like that. I wonder if we can get it to automatically highlight. I wonder what this alms tools is. A cloud-ready IDE for TypeScript. That's interesting. So they just took Monaco and added some stuff onto it. Looks like they added quite a bit of stuff onto Monaco though. So I expect to get some highlighting now. No. Even when we pass in this, I wonder if we're doing this incorrectly. This is the one thing with Monaco, is Monaco's a giant bag of worms to try to figure out how to do all the different options. But it has a lot of capabilities. I want to read the FAQ about them loading and failing. The problem here is that in your code, the only info you can rely on is the file extension. Yeah. That's true. Maybe GitHub will allow us to get some more information. Now, why are we not able to get this? Let's read more about what they did here. TSX should have its own language. That's what I was thinking as well. I think they probably bundle it under And you probably bundle it under JSX. I mean, under TypeScript, and then when you add this flag, they treat it differently. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to try next. I think really what we need to do is just read a blog post on building like an editor in Monaco. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here, and that's what I'll do tomorrow. Is just like read some posts and see if I can get an idea of how to put this together. I'll stick around for a few minutes and answer any questions you guys have, and then we'll do that tomorrow. Let's close. We can close some of this stuff now. What's the difference between a consultant, a software engineer, and a contractor, and which one pays the most? I have no idea. Glassdoor can tell us. Which location? Have you had many paying signups with Saffron? No, and I also took it off, so that could be one reason. I'm planning on doing like a slightly different business model with it, so I made it free to do for now, and like took away the free trial, and I have like a new business model I plan on adding. Aren't you a consultant? Yes. I mean, I'm not really sure whether you consider me a contractor or consultant. I guess you would consider me like I do freelance software engineering is like, I guess, the best term to put it. And basically people use the terms differently, so it's hard to say. So based in Austin, Texas, software engineer, you're going to get 84 to 136. Go work at Ping Identity. Yeah, it depends on it. Are Glassdoor salaries accurate? I think it depends. I feel like to some extent they're pretty good. Oh, see, we've increased our rate a little bit. None of these have software developer. They only have one role for consultant. Yeah, it really depends on the arrangement. Hey, you can be a software developer at UT Austin. Yeah, I feel like the location is going to change things quite a bit. Reason why I want to do it instead of full-time is mainly for flexibility, and I get to work on more things that I like doing, and also being able to, do different types of work frequently. Like I get to change what I'm working on. I can work on different things a lot. So that's what I like about it. And like being more in control. But it requires more work that way and handling more business things. So are you trying to decide which one you want to do? Doesn't look like Alms has gotten updated recently. Well, I'm pretty much set on becoming a full-time software engineer, but freelancing sounds like an interesting route. Are you currently working as a full-time software engineer, or that's something you're trying to get a job in right now? Hello, I'm starting with GraphQL. Do you recommend using Prisma? Uh, Personally, I think a better sequence of learning it is starting with, if you're using JavaScript, like using something like Sequelize, or using like PG Node, and accessing, if you're using Postgres that is, or Mongo, and accessing it directly, and then like learn GraphQL that way. And then I recommend trying out Prisma, because you'll get a good idea of like how GraphQL works and stuff, and then you'll see why Prisma is like so helpful and all the things that it generates for you. Because it can be, I think, a little confusing for a beginner if they jump straight into GraphQL and Prisma. I think it makes more sense if you start with GraphQL without Prisma and then learn it. I'm fluent with the stack, which is Postgres, Flask, React, /Redux, and a little D3. Nice. And I've been holding out on applying jobs because I need to brush up on my data structures and deep diving into ES6. Gotcha. So, have you done Django at all, or you have focused on doing Flask instead? I've done Flask a little bit. I like it. So then, are you wanting to do full stack stuff then, or you want to do front end or back end? Why do you like Flask better than Django? Because it's more lightweight? I think getting paid signups for a product is incredibly hard these days unless it's business to business. Yeah, that's basically the direction that I want to take it. Is instead of trying to charge consumers, have food bloggers pay for it, and target like the food blogger businesses. Django feels like you're writing. Django feels like you're writing Django. Flask feels like you're writing Python. I get what you mean. Django has a lot more like opinionated ways of doing things, and Flask like leaves it up to you. Hey, N2. Next up, I need to learn the scaling of backend optimizing queries and messaging. What do you mean by messaging? Like a message queue? Do you see my Redux video? Really interested in going into GraphQL and Apollo, but I don't think I'll ever leave REST though. Yeah, REST is still really popular, and like majority of places are still using it, but more people are starting to adopt GraphQL. And from a developer point of view, I really like developing with it over using React, or not over React, but over REST. Oh, you've been using Go lately. That's fun. Do you do GraphQL with Go at all, or you may do REST stuff? Also, like, if I was gonna go back to doing REST, I was always using Redux to store my queries and stuff. I think I would see if I could set something up where I use a different system to do my queries instead of using Redux Thunk or Redux Saga. It would be really cool to learn messaging for iOS and Android and web for notifications. I think it's pretty easy to set that up with Expo. Yummy Pretzels, what's up, Ben? What's your favorite type generation library for GraphQL queries? Right now I'm really liking GraphQL code generator is what I've been using lately. I was trying to see if their website would pop up on the homepage, but it doesn't look like it. Rust is cool, but it's not easy to work with GraphQL. Yeah, I haven't tried Rust yet myself. I've heard good things about it though. It's one of the ones that I have like on my list that like eventually I'd like to try out. Rust, Go, Elixir, or Scala for backend microservice. I feel like you could pick any of those. You could pick Python, you could pick Node. How are you liking it so far, Yummy Pretzels? Which ones have you been using? So I've been using the React Apollo plugin in the client and the common, and then also on the back end I've been using the server and the resolver one. I like Rust, but I haven't had any use cases for it yet. I feel like Rust could make sense for like a server. Aren't they developing Rust with WASM? You know, I haven't been following WASM's development, so I have no idea where that's at. Yeah, I have no idea what the relationship between Rust and WASM is. I feel like people are using Rust for things that they would have been using C++ for. Hey Lumi, pretty much done programming for today and just answering some questions. I don't even know like if there's like I don't know what the status of this is right now. How many hours do you code a day? That's actually a very popular question. I should add that to the bottom of my thing. I think I said like, so my coding, I don't just like sit in front of the computer. So I would say like maybe like 10 hours to 8 hours ish. and then that time I'm not actively on the computer the whole time. I'm either like walking around and thinking, and not like looking at it the entire time. So is WebAssembly good for more than just games? I actually haven't read pretty much anything about it, so I have no idea when I would want to use this. I know people are hyped on it. Yep, I've been using those three too. All of our clients at work are using unejected create React apps. I'm using it with a no namespace config. Yep, I'm using the same thing, actually. Though I like the namespace generated components better. Yeah, I agree. It's a little messy without the namespaces. All of our backend services are written in Ruby, so I've not used any of our node server generation options yet. Oh, okay. But you guys use TypeScript on the front end then, it sounds like, if you're generating stuff from it. And you guys have Ruby in the back end. It's interesting. Technically, you can do anything with it a lot faster for apps that go over a certain size. But the languages you use are actually create WebAssembly are significantly less productive than JavaScript. So you get desktop grade performance in the browser, and you get to choose which languages you use. Nice. JavaScript is pretty fast though. I guess if you're doing something that's performance sensitive. Here we go. Here's use cases. Yep, so using different languages, image and video editing. Yeah, give me that Java performance, baby. Games. Peer-to-peer. Music, image recognition. Developer tooling. So like Monaco could be using WebAssembly. Well, it certainly has a good list of use cases. I saw that in most Prisma tutorials, they use one server for Prisma and another one for Apollo server. Is it possible to use only one server for a small application? So right now it is not possible. So you're gonna have one server that's gonna be the server you create. Then there's gonna be a proxy server, and that's the thing that Prisma creates. So you're gonna have a minimum of two. Python's a turtle. Man, this guy gave us a lot of paragraphs of text. Why is JavaScript so fast? I remember reading a so this is I remember I was saying this a while ago. This is all different web frameworks and has their speed. I don't know if this is sorted by top ranking. C comes in first place. Pronto. I've never heard of this Python language. I mean framework. It's not abandoned, but no one's working on it. Now this is just for web servers, so I'm not sure if this will if this translates exactly to languages. Go is not even in the top 5. Jester. Doesn't look like this one's getting developed either. There's no way Python is number 2. I have no idea how they made the benchmark, but at least in this one, for web frameworks. So let's see which one's the first framework that I recognize / I've ever used. I've heard of Iron. Haven't heard of any of these Go ones except for, might have heard of Gen. Definitely heard of Gorilla Mux and Bigo. Restana. All the way down the list, we're starting to see some Node frameworks now. Koa, Fastify, Foxify. Let's see where Express is. Express is all the way down here. We've started a language war in chat now. Oh, Sinatra. Oh my gosh, Ruby on Rails is dead bottom here. Tech Empower / benchmarks. I wonder what a fortune is. So H2O. Where does it have a section for what language it was? Here's the language. So we have C in first place, Java, Go, PHP, Java, C#. I wonder where Python's at now. I don't think I've seen a single Python or Node library. Here's Ruby. Here's some JS stuff. Koa Postgres. Let's see what dead bottoms. All the Python libraries are at the bottom. Python. Let's see where Flask is at. Flask is ranked 210. What about for a single query? Yeah. Alright guys, I have to go now. Thanks for watching the stream today. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably gonna do some more Monaco stuff, see if we can get it working. See you guys later.